Hey everyone, this is Louis7, and today I am trying something new, which is a sort of instance overview tutorial in the Lord of the Rings Online. For this video, I will cover the Assault on Dhurstrok 3-man instance, which is one of the new ones in update 31.0.1 for Gundabad. The goal of this series of instance overview videos I will be trying is to not give in-depth strategies on optimizing your experience with the instance. Rather, the goal is to help players get started and just familiarize themselves with the instances. Please let me know if you have any feedback or any comments on this for future videos. Back on topic though, this instance contains the size scaling feature that has become common among new LOTRO instances. And with this feature, you can choose a solo/duo option or the full 3-man version. The 3-man version currently offers up to tier 3 difficulty if run at the level 140 cap, although this will likely be increased to include up to tier 5 in the future. For the solo and duo version, and just if you're running the instance below the level cap, you will be limited to tier 1 difficulty. Assault on Dhurstrok contains 2 bosses and is fairly quick to run. The goal of the instance is to rescue a dwarf locked in a room in Dhurstrok, and to do so you need to collect 2 keys, which the 2 bosses just happen to have. It's kind of convenient, you know? Now let's go ahead and get into starting the instance up. Besides level and ownership of the Fate of Gundabad expansion pack, the only prerequisite left is you have to complete the discovery deed on the landscape. So to discover this instance, as shown in the video, you need to go to the catwalks in Deep's Crave. I recommend doing so via the elevator, which is just a short travel away from the stable master in the zone. So as we travel there, I will mention that for players that have quested through the Deep's Crave region, there will be a small quest which has you discover it anyway, so I recommend timing the discovery with that quest. And once you get to the elevator here, you want to choose the catwalks option, and my final tip as we travel to the entrance from here is if you are leveling and going through the Deep's Crave zone, the solo version is a great way to complete the quest and get a bit of practice in the instance as well before you run the full 3-man version. And eventually this path we are traveling on, it leads to Dhurstrok, which is located at 49.0 south and 117.6 west as far as coordinates go. Now that we have the details of the instance and now that you are also able to enter it, once you do so, there will be a wide hallway leading to a bigger room. This hall is full of enemies and so is the larger room ahead. In the larger room, there will be a lot of enemies on the side, but they are all not actually necessary to kill. Your first goal of this instance should be to get to the steps, which are easily visible from the instance entrance. I will point out there is an elite troll that you might need to be a little bit more careful with as you work your way to the steps. And at the top of these short steps here, you will notice a closed door, which behind that is where the dwarf is that you need to rescue. Again, your goal of the instance is to unlock that door by defeating the 2 bosses. At this platform, at the top of the first steps, there are going to be 2 sets of stairs, one left and one right. On each side, the paths will eventually lead to each boss. It does not actually matter which order you fight the 2 bosses, so you can choose your own path. For the sake of this video, my group went left first. Following this path to a large room, we will see a beautiful Etten arguing with itself. Unfortunately, he is not too beautiful on the inside, and he has one of your needed keys, so we kind of need to deal with him. In my experience, this fight is the tougher of the 2 bosses due to the chaotic damage, largely a result from a cyclone that will move and follow some players. The cyclone should be avoided as it does non-trivial damage and has a very large range even if you are quite far away from it, as shown in the video. Also, I will point out there are ads in this fight, but at least on tier 1 they didn't really do too much bother to us. So after defeating the first boss and hopefully surviving along the way, unlike me and my group here, you may notice you are back on the first floor off in a side room where a door has opened back to the large room with the first steps. So to get to the next box, you will have to go back up the stairs and go the opposite direction as before. In my case, this will be the right path and will lead to the bat riding boss. In my experience, this is a less deadly fight than the 2-headed troll, but may not necessarily be easier. This boss has 2 phases, one with the combo bat and goblin rider as a single enemy, and then when you get them down to almost 0 health, they really trick you in phase 2, the second part of the fight, as 2 full health enemies again. There's the goblin and bat individually. The main aspect of this fight appears to be staying out of the poison pools on the ground indicated by red squares and just living through the 2 phases of the fight. On the second phase, I will point out my groups have so far focused on the bat first and then the goblin second. So after defeating the second boss, you will have both keys and can move back to these steps once again and now get past the locked door to rescue the dwarf. Once that is done, you can turn in the instance bestowed quest to the dwarf NPC, and after that the instance is completed. Congratulations on the victory. As far as rewards go, Tier 1 starts with a base item level of 460 and yellow quality loot. Gear can be disenchanted into base crafting mats if you do not want it. And also, as with more recent LOTRO instances, the loot is mostly fellowship tradable for an hour after acquisition. I also, as far as legendary items go, I have also gotten purple traceries and yellow enhancement runes in this instance. And finally, for essences, I have seen some yellow essence boxes drop as well. In the solo/duo version, I have gotten coins of Gundabad, yellow enhancement runes, and heritage runes. Overall, I am actually not sure if the solo/duo version will be worth the effort to run, but it doesn't seem too terrible given the use of the coins and then the heritage runes once the reward track finally comes out. I will point out this instance follows the new loot rules for Gundabad where you get 5 favored chests per week. This applies for tiers 1 through 3, and finally for tier 4 and 5, presumably in the future, that will be only 1 chest per week for both of those tiers. Outside of the favored chests, it likely will not be worth running the instances. That is all I have for this guide on the Assault on Dhurstrok 3-man Gundabad instance. Again, if you have any feedback on any parts of this video, including organization and structure, pacing, and content covered as well, please do comment. Also, if you enjoyed the video or learned something useful, please consider liking and subscribing for more, or sharing the video, and also consider becoming a channel member to support the content, and thanks for watching everyone.